Peace. What's going on, y'all? Rob Black Storm. How's everybody doing today, tonight, or this evening, or this morning? I hope you're having a wonderful day, or night, or evening. What I want to talk about today is I want to talk about how to harness spiritual energy to overcome obstacles in life, right? This is something that's not really talked about, things that I don't really see a lot on the internet. So I wanted to talk about how to use spirituality to overcome obstacles in life. Now, one of the things we have to realize is that when we come out of the church, right, and we start to walk the spiritual path, the first thing we have to realize is it's not going to be easy. A lot of people leave the church, they learn the truth that the Bible got a lot of bullshit in it, or the Quran got a lot of bullshit in it, or the religion itself has a lot of bullshit in it. And then what they want to do is they come into this way of life. They may be studying, Kemet. They may just be studying history. They may be studying whatever they're studying, right? And they come and walk this path, and they take the same church, the same religious way. They have the same religious way of thinking about things. So, for instance, let's look at one thing, and the one thing I really want to touch on. So what happens is people get into, let's say they are into voodoo, Ifa, Santeria, an occult spiritual system or a mystical spiritual system that's outside the norm. And what happens is they'll discover a god, like a goddess, Oshun, right? Let's use Oshun. Or let's use Oshun and Shango, because I want to use a male and female to not appear sexist. So Oshun and Shango, right? So they'll learn about Shango. They'll learn about Oshun. Now, what happens is they'll create an altar, or they'll, set up a altar for Oshun or altar for Shango, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. But what they'll do is they'll create the altar, set out whatever offerings are for these deities, and then they'll chill, right? And then they'll say, oh, I did this. I lit the candles, I presented, sunflowers to Oshun. I gave a cigar to Shango, right? I did X, Y, Z. And then I am going to seek reward, right? That is the mindset of someone who is still thinking religious, right? Still is thinking, still thinking like a sheep. Still thinking like a sheep that needs a shepherd. These deities, these gods, Set, Osir, Osiris, Isis, Shango, Oshun, Oya, all these gods and deities are not here to be worshipped. They're not like when you go to church and you kneel down and you look at the cross and you pray to the cross, you don't do that with Oshun. You don't do that with Shango. You don't do that with any gods or any deities at all. They're not to be worshipped. What you're doing is you are opening, when you create these altars, when you write these petitions, when you give these offerings, when you light these candles, what you are doing is you are opening yourself up for the energy of that particular deity to work within you. I'm going to say this again. When you light these candles, when you create these altars, when you give these offerings, when you write these petitions, this is to harness the energy that is already within you and basically spark it. I look at it like this. Spirituality, especially magic, is like a gun or a knife in your hand. You already have two hands, right? It's like fighting with a gun or a knife in your hand. You already have two hands to fight with, to box with. But when you have spirituality, when you're using magic and you're using these magical tools, now you don't just have two hands. Now you have a knife and a gun. So you're more effective at killing off your enemies or knocking out your obstacles. And that's the goal. But what you're really doing when you're doing that is you're inviting this energy to become part of you. So let's say you are working with Oshun. Now, when you're working with Oshun, you just don't light the candle and put the sunflower, put the water and just chill. You're supposed to be out peacocking. So maybe you wear if you're a woman, maybe you wear a sunflower in your hair. Maybe you start dressing a little bit more provocatively, like Oshun would. Maybe you start being a little more flirty, like Oshun is. Maybe you peacock a little bit. Start wearing yellow because you're trying to embody the energy of this deity so it becomes one with you, right? It's not a worship thing. Even when you went to church, what they tell you is to become Christ-like, to follow the example of the Christ, to become anointed. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to become anointed by whatever deity that you're working with. And that anointing becomes part of you. And then you are able to execute out on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever goal you're trying to accomplish, or whatever you're trying to get away from or sever ties with or change within yourself. Most of the time when people want magic done, when people want to mess with these deities, is for love and money, right? House, they're about to get evicted, or the boyfriend, girlfriend broke up with them. That's when they start to turn to magic, for those two reasons. But healing the chakras, getting a rainbow colored candle, a candle with all the colors, and saying this candle is dedicated to healing my chakras, nah, they're not doing that, right? To get a candle, a pink candle, and say this candle is for self-love and I'm going to work on myself, most people aren't doing that. To get a green candle, to say I want to escape my poverty consciousness, I want to learn more about money and how money works, they're not doing that. But let the light bill be late, and the light bill be late and the shit about to be cut off, or it's already cut off. Then all of a sudden you see him in a group, or you see him hitting you up where I need a spell for this, you know what I'm saying? Or I need to speak to Saint Expedite, right? I want to work with Saint Expedite because I need it to work fast. What were you doing before that? And how were you working with these deities? Do you only work with these deities or these gods when shit is critical? Do you only work with them when shit is critical? And you have to be honest with yourself. Because, again, this spiritual path is a lifestyle. This is not about you doing something one day and abracadabra shit happening, right? That's not what this is about. Now, you may start off that way, as we all do. We all start off as little baby magicians, right? We're doing a little candle magic here. We're, start maybe throwing cards and doing readings here. We maybe casting little spells here and there. And then when we see it work, we say, oh shit, this shit is amazing. It's working, right? I saw this thing that I wanted manifest into my life. Beautiful thing, right? Nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, how did you get to that point? What was it that even got you to the point where you started to use magic? And what that is was a desire to become a better person. A desire, well, maybe it's not even a desire to become a better person, right? Because you have black magic, white magic. I don't judge. Do whatever you want. You could hex or you could heal. I don't judge. Do what you want. Me, myself, personally, I prefer healing magic. I prefer healing magic. I prefer abundance magic. I prefer that magic that's going to make you better. I prefer doing magic that's going to help you get something in life or reach your goals. There's some people who all they want to do is hex people, hex people, hex people. And when I hear this, right, even from clients that I have myself, when I hear this, I'm like, after maybe the second time that they want to hex somebody, I'm like, I start thinking about them. And I'm like, yo, why do you always want to hex somebody? What is it about you that all these people are fucking with you? Or all these people need to be hexed because of you? Who are you? Because all the people that we meet in life are really mirrors of ourselves. So when we go to these deities, when we go to these gods, we don't want to go to these deities and these gods with a poverty consciousness, with a please, like we did with Jesus. Oh, please, oh, please, please Allah, please Jesus, please Allah, please help me. Please help me. No. God only helps those who helps themselves. God only helps those who helps themselves. And whether you believe in God or not, it doesn't matter. Sit in the bed all day for a month and see what happens. Nothing will happen. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care what deity you pray to, what type of spell you try to do. Do a money spell and then go back to bed and sit down and do nothing. See what happens. So that shows you that the magic is in you. You are the magic. Really. The deity, again, you have the same two hands. Working with deities, doing spell work, all that, you still have the same two hands. But the spell work, the magic, the spirituality, the frame of mind, right? And we're working with a new trinity, by the way. The new trinity on the spiritual path. Well, I'll get into that in another video. But I'll give you a sneak peek. I already talked about it in the last video. But the new trinity is using the three brains, right? The three brains are this one brain, the main brain, the second brain of the heart, and the brain of the gut, right? The intuition, the empathy, and the frame of mind. So we have sound, we have light, and we have thought. And this world is really nothing but a light and sound show anyway. Everything is manipulated by light and sound. And as a salesperson who's been doing sales for over 15 years, I could tell you that manipulating someone's emotions is how you make money in America. So everything you see in the media, 90% of news stories, the reason that the worst news story is the first news story you see is to grab your attention. It's to get you emotionally invested so that you watch the rest of the shit. And that you tune into the commercial after they done beat you in the head with all the negative energy and all the negative things that they could find in your neighborhood, city, or town. So how do you manipulate your own emotions? The same way the TV did it. The TV gave you images, right? They showed you somebody getting shot on the block or somebody getting beat up or the crime tape, right? And they gave you sound. The reporter telling you, this person got shot on Burke Avenue, or this person's house got robbed on Allerton Avenue, or this person on Gun Hill Road got hit in the head with a shovel, right? And then they show you the images. So sound and images, what does that do? It gives you fear, right? You're fearful. So it's the same way that you work with these deities. There are things called words of power, or heck out you could get into. If you're interested in that, send me an email, robwatson7@gmail.com. I will give you these words of power. It won't be free because it took me a long time to learn them. But what you could do with these words of power is you could take them into your meditation, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's career, whether it's courage, discipline. There are words of power for that. Just like Om, O-M, is a word of power. But the O-M is really taken from the Ankh, which is A-U. Ankh is spelled A, I think I drew a blank. But Ankh is spelled A-U-N-K. Forgive me if I might be wrong. But anyway, the A-U or the Om sound, the A-U-M, Om, comes from the Ankh, Ankh, A-N-K-H, right? So the Om sound, or Om, Ankh, Om, Om, Om. So you see it's the same sound. So that's just one word of power that you could use. And the sound Om or Om, what it does is I consider that the way I was taught it is that sound stirs the waters within. So we know we're made of 75% water. So that sound stirs the water within, right? So again, when we're working with these deities, we don't want to worship them like we worship Jesus or like we worship something. We want to embody them. So if you're working with Shango, you should be wearing red. You should have your chest puffed out. Maybe you start going to the gym, right? Maybe, maybe you start having a little rougher sex with your girl, right? Show us something new. Maybe start choke stroking her, right? But you want to embody the energy of strength if you're working with Shango, because you are working with that deity for a reason. So you want to possess and harness that energy. The energy of these deities correspond to the energy of your chakras. The deities all have colors. Heru is green. Heru is primarily red, but Herakuti is crimson, right? If you go to Osep, you're dealing with blues, right? Dark or purples, right? And then you're going to Osir, you're dealing with a light blue, a sky blue, right? Which you would call Osiris. So if you look at all the deities in any pantheon of spirituality, even the Indians with Lakshmi and all that, you'll see that they all have colors. These colors all correspond to your chakras that are in you. All your chakras have colors, right? They all have colors. The heart chakra is green. The crown chakra is purple. The root chakra is red. So if we're dealing with Haru, and we know we need Haru energy, we might need discipline, we might need courage to get through something, we might be procrastinating, we need the spirit to move forward. So if I'm working with Haru, right, I know I'm working with my root chakra primarily. I'm trying to build my root chakra and master my root chakra, so I don't just use it for wasteful sexual energy or masturbation like that. I'm using this root chakra in order to move myself forward, right? So this is one way of working with these deities. I want love. I'm working with Het Heru, right? Het Heru is green. That's the heart chakra. So I'm going to work with Het Heru. I'm going to embody the things about Het Heru that I know exist so that I can start seeing love. So that, and then maybe I'll be myself, be more flirty, be more out there, go on dating sites, you know what I'm saying? Talking to women in the street. Not being more flirty, peacocking myself, making myself look better when I go out, maybe wearing nicer clothes, even if I'm going to the grocery corner store, right? Looking nice because I don't know who I'm going to meet. But because I'm calling this energy into myself, it must manifest. So I'll see these things. Remember, energy goes where attention flows. Energy goes where attention flows. So wherever you put your energy, wherever you put your attention, that's where the energy will go. So if you have the intention on being Heru, being Shango, being Oshun, being Oya, then you have to capture that energy, and you have to pay attention to things that look like that energy, because those things are kind of signs to let you know that your magic is working or your power of embodiment is working. Then the poverty mindset is when we think that having too much is bad, and B, thinking that we have to beg the universe to get what we want. We have to beg, plead to a deity, to a God to get what we want. We have to worship a God to get what we want. That's religion. And if you're truly on the spiritual path, it's not about following this like a religion. It's about an independent study, an independent discipline. It's about really being God out here, being a self-starter, right? And that will go, being a self-starter, translate not just to spirituality, it'll translate to business, it'll translate to how you treat your body, it'll translate to how you view the news, how you view social media, how you view the world. You won't think like everybody else because you're a self-starter and you become a critical thinker. And that's what this is all about. That's what having all these deities and this pantheon of gods is about. It's not just about lighting a couple of candles and putting some water down and putting some herbs down and chilling and thinking, okay, I did this and now I don't have to do any work. You have to rise above. You have to do the work. You have to put the legwork in. No matter what deity that you worship, no matter what energy that you're putting out there, you have to do the work. Your ancestors don't want you to be lazy. Your ancestors don't want you to be chilling. Your ancestors don't want you to be poor. Your ancestors don't want you to be broke. Your ancestors do not want you to be struggling. That's what they died for. That's what they went through slavery for. That's why they have a history and a legacy of kings and queens for you to look back and know who you are. But you have to activate on that on your own. And no one can do that for you but you. And all we're doing with these gods and these deities is we don't want to do it with a poverty consciousness, with a begging consciousness, with a tin cup consciousness, with a GoFundMe consciousness. We want to do it with confidence, knowing that we can harness this energy, that we could utilize this energy, that we could gain and develop this energy within us so that we can master ourselves. And one trick I'm going to share with y'all, something that I always do, is with my water, I program my water because we are 75% water. So there's the word power, there's the word discipline. these are the two things that I'm working on right now. So when I drink this water that has power and discipline, I'm thinking about power and discipline and things that I want to improve on. Great, now it is part of me. So now I am embodying the spirit of power and discipline. So when I go out into the world, or when I'm in my house, I know that I have to do things that are powerful. I know I have to be disciplined and keep my own regimen that I created for myself. So with that said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know your opinion. Like, share, subscribe. I love y'all. Thank you for being patient with me. The next video, I think I'm going to go into the 7 chakras much deeper, so this way people can understand, because chakras are not just colors that are within your body. Chakras also correspond to glands. There's different ways to activate them through meditation, so I'm going to go into that with another video. I know I said this before, but you will definitely see more of me, probably 2 to 3 times a week from now on. Shorter videos, but I wanted to get this out because I see it often where people, as soon as there's a critical situation, they want to spell. They want to know which deity to work with. Or they're working with deities, but they're actually praying to them like they're Jesus. Oh, Oshun, Oshun, please help me. Oh, Shango, please help me. Oh, Oya, please help me. Oh, Yamaya, please help me. Nah, be Yamaya. Start flowing like water. Start programming your water. Start being as the sea, being formless, right? Start seeing ways you could fit into different situations instead of being without, right? Or maybe you're selfish. Maybe you need to work with Yamaya so you can know how to share, how to be with people, how to be like the ocean, how to be like a drop, how to network with people, right? One of the things you would work with Yamaya. And you would embody that, and then you would act as if. You would act as if. So again, I hope this makes sense. Like, share, subscribe. Peace, power, and prosperity. I'm probably not going to put the books up. It's late. I don't feel like editing. I'm not going to lie. But if you want the books, again, put it in the comments or send me an email, robwatson7@gmail.com. I'll start getting back to the edited videos soon where I add little images and stuff like that. But because I haven't been on here for a while, I just want to drop this off to y'all and share this knowledge, wisdom, and insight with y'all. Again, peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm, I'm